Top Thrill 2 was plagued with plenty of downtime early in the 2025 season until this major change was made to the ride. How's it going, everyone? We are Beach Cliff Studios. We're going to go over everything that we know that was changed about Top Thrill 2 to make it more reliable, and it definitely worked because after this change, it became probably one of the most reliable rides in the park. But before we do that, we're going to get into a little bit about how Top Thrill 2 was built and how it works. Now, if you're watching this video, most likely you know at least a little bit about LSMs, linear synchronous motors. They're electromagnets that propel pretty much most all modern launch coasters.
Yeah.
So LSMs are the little, usually like white things along a track. It pulls and pushes simultaneously the train along through the ride. The thing is about these electromagnets create a lot of heat. So they need to be cooled one of two ways, either through water or by air. Now, most major LSM launch coasters are cooled by water. And that is because it's just the better way. It's the more efficient way. But it's also the more expensive way. So I think you can kind of guess where we're going with this. Top Thrill 2 was not made with water-cooled LSMs. It was air-cooled.
Yeah, which is not as good, but it is cheaper. So Cedar Point wanted the more cost-effective route, and that's what they went with.
So early in the season, when it was plagued with this downtime, and by no means was it down all the time, it just had frequent short breakdowns and even a couple times where the ride was closed for I think even a couple days at a time. So the thing is that what we were hearing and what a lot of people were saying is that they heard the LSMs were overheating. And this pretty much made sense because real early in the year, it was cooler out. It had better reliability. And it wasn't until the heat started coming that all of a sudden the ride started to go down. So then one day, all of a sudden, boom, just like that, the ride completely reliable. And like we said earlier, it probably one of the most reliable rides in the park.
Yeah, it is.
And how did that happen? It happened with one major change that Zamperla did when they came back over to look at the ride. Now, earlier in the year, we noticed something. Let us know in the comments down below if you guys noticed this as well. We started seeing the backward spike. And last year, if you saw it go at all, it went up almost, so you have the alternating red and white pieces of track. And it went up to the second highest red piece of track pretty much.
Yeah. So looking at a picture of it, the top is red, then it's white, and then it's red. Before last year, the train would go to the top of that second highest red area, and then it'd stop, and then it'd go back down. But it was not the case this season.
Yeah, so we started noticing, and we even brought it up a couple times when we were at the park. We're it looks like the train is probably going up a good, 20 feet. It's hard to judge exactly how big of an area it is.
A decent amount. It wasn't going up as high as it was last year by a noticeable amount.
Yeah, so we didn't really think much of it until later on in the year. We came up with a theory, especially whenever the weather cooled down. And then all of a sudden we started seeing that the train started going back up around the same height that it was going last year. So we came up with this theory, and then we ended up confirming it with some people that worked Top Thrill 2. And in fact, Zamperla was called over to find out exactly why the overheating was going on. Well, the overheating was going on because they used air cooling instead of water cooling. They cheaped out. So that's the biggest reason that the ride was overheating. But Zamperla ended up recommending that the train lower the speed of the backwards launch. So you have the initial launch at, 74 miles per hour, whatever.
74, yeah.
And then the backwards launch is supposed to be 101 miles per hour. Now, we don't know exactly what speed it was lowered to, but they lowered the backwards speed in order to create less, I don't know about friction or whatever, but create less energy and less heat. And therefore, the ride was operable. Now, did you guys notice? Were you guys, like, if you guys rode it last year and then rode it this year, if you guys watched it or rode it, did you guys notice any difference either watching it or while on the ride? I mean, on the ride, you can't really notice any difference.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not going to be able to tell on the ride. But if you pay enough attention and you're looking at it off the ride, again, it's a small difference. But I just always notice from last season that I don't know. I just had a picture of like, okay, it always go to this spot, and it's easy to tell because it's two different colors. But then we noticed that it wasn't going in nearly as high this year, so that's what led to our hypothesis.
So we would really like to know what speed they did lower this to.
I mean, it wouldn't be that much. It's not going to be that much less. It's not going to be 80 miles an hour.
No. It was obviously still in the 90s probably to get even up that high.
Yeah, for sure. But it definitely below 100.
So, I mean, and the trade-off, I would definitely take that.
Well, yeah,
like a reliable ride versus going 101 versus say they were going 95 or something like that.
You can't tell the difference when you're riding it at all, and it means that the ride is open more. So I'm 100% fine with them making that change.
But I really wonder if Zamperla and Cedar Point had a chance to go back, would they not cheap out and go the route of the water-cooled LSM stators? Or would they still do this and then have to switch the controls? So maintenance has to go in and switch the controls whenever there's probably a certain temperature. I don't know, like Zamperla probably recommended over 80 degrees or whatever. I mean, we're just making that up, but over 80 degrees, lower it down. And then once it gets below that, then you can raise it back up. But either way, let us know down in the comments what you think about this change. Was it worth it? I'm sure all of you are going to be saying, yeah, it was totally worth it. Having a reliable ride. So that is it for this quick little informational video. If you found it informational, entertaining, whatever, please consider subscribing if you are not already a subscriber. And of course, a huge shout out to all our channel members, all these people you see on the screen right here. They help us out a ton. And in return, they get things like exclusive pictures, shout outs, videos, live streams, which we are going to do more live streams. We keep saying it, but we will do more members only live streams.
Yeah, and if you want to join that amazing list of people, you can just go in the description, click a link, and join. And we really, really appreciate it.
So that is it from here at lovely Beech Cliff Studios headquarters. And we'll see you guys next time right here. I already said Beech Cliff Studios like 10 times, but say it again.
On Beech Cliff Studios.
See you guys. Yeah.